All right, it's now that time. Stevie Wonder's in the background. The Hutchinson Report, take of the week. Here's where we let it fly. We do a little bit of a drive-by. What's in the news? What's been trending this week? What are the hot topics? We talk a lot about that on the Hutchinson Report. Take of the week. All right. I'm looking at the New York Times now. Let me hold this up for our Facebook live stream audience. I see hundreds of people in the Bahamas. You know, it used to be better in the Bahamas. Well, I don't know how much better it is now. Dorian is really reaping and reeking and ripping a path through the Bahamas. I spent a lot of time, A.H. Hoffman and Leroy in the Bahamas. I took,
Really?
I took taken a number of trips. I even took the kids there twice.
Oh.
We love Nassau. Ricky almost bought a condo back in the day in Nassau.
Funky Nassau.
I looked very hard, and they were practically giving them away then. Paradise Island, spent a lot of time over there in the casinos. I mean, I just love that. They don't allow, by the way, the Bahamians to use and gamble in the casinos for obvious reasons. I mean, the income is so low. Standards. So, I mean, they don't want them gambling in the casinos. That was for tourists. A.H. Hoffman went there. She's a big spender anyway. High roller. Probably blew everything there.
Are
Didn't
you
make
serious?
any
I've
difference.
never been to Funky Nassau.
Ah,
You remember that song, Funky Nassau?
I know it.
Funky
Well, how about
Nassau.
Funky Trump? Because he can't seem to get it right. The guy isn't doing anything. No aid, no support, no nothing. He's too busy
Funky
trying.
Trump.
He's too busy, Funky Trump. He's too busy trying to do what? Trying to prove that he was right. You know, he's never been wrong. He's never wrong about anything. Proving, despite what the scientists say, despite what the meteorologists say, that Dorian is not going to Alabama. He's not focused on the Bahamas or the Caribbean.
Of
He's
course
so
not.
right. He's trying to show that I said the hurricane is going to Alabama. Now, God knows why Alabama. But nonetheless, when they pointed out, you're wrong. It's not going that way. The path is going to the southeast and in the islands and out to the Atlantic. He still won't back down, but that's Trump. What can you say? Here's a picture right here. He's not there. I don't see him right in the middle of this picture. Do you, A.H. Hoffman?
Of course not.
No.
If it happened somewhere else, I was hoping that it would hit Florida and Mar-a-Lago.
No,
but
we're thinking about that. You took the words right out of my mouth.
I'm
That was
like,
the next thing.
daggone it.
Then it would be a world disaster then.
Oh, yeah, because then he'd be on the news every day talking about it. But of course, you know, he's
Of
not
course.
talking about it
No.
because it's the Caribbean.
Now, A.H. Hoffman and the world. Here's a what if. No, not a what if, a what is. Speaking of Trump and his billionaire developer pals, something caught my eye in the New York Times, a big piece last week about something they call, are you ready for this? Opportunity zones. Let me repeat that again, opportunity zones. Now, here's the way it works. With the 2017 tax bill, you know, the big giveaway to all the billionaire cronies of Trump, developers, rich guys, and all of that, basically that looted the Treasury of billions and billions more revenue because of the giveaway to the super rich in the tax bill. Buried in there was the expansion of opportunity zones. An opportunity zone goes like this. I go to A.H. Hoffman's depressed, rundown, beat-up, distressed neighborhood, South L.A., somewhere around there. I declare a section of that an opportunity zone. The theory is I go into the opportunity zone as an investor. I create a business, do a development deal, do something there to build the zone up, that area. I get a generous tax write-off. I get a big write-off. And in addition to that, I can defer as long as I plow the money back into the development in that particular area. I can continue to get a deferment of my federal taxes for the amount of money I put in there, not to mention reduction of capital gains. Now, it costs the Treasury $50 billion and climbing, this giveaway to the rich. And that's all it is. Now, here's what caught my eye about it. How about this, A.H. Hoffman? We spent a lot of time talking about the homeless, right?
Right.
And the plight of the homeless. Leroy, this will knock your socks off. Something I didn't think about, and it hit me like a thunderbolt. You know how sometimes in our heads light bulbs go off? I said, son of a gun, I can't believe this. The great myth is that the poor don't pay taxes. You know, they've been kind of pounding on that. Well, you know, the corporate people and the rich, they pay all the taxes in the middle.
No, they pay more
the
taxes.
poor pay actually disproportionately
More
more
taxes,
than
yes.
the 1%. Here's how.
Yes.
Let me walk it through for a minute. Federal taxes, well, first of all, overall, the poor pay 11%, 11 to 12% of the gross federal revenue, not to mention state taxes. If you put your foot on the pedal and you drive a car, there's a little thing called the gas tax, right? which is another revenue source, public. Many homeless people do drive. The second thing, do you buy anything? Do you buy anything? Then you have to pay a little thing called sales tax. That's more revenue, public revenue. Do you work at all? So a lot of homeless people actually do have income from time to time from jobs. It's a little thing called the payroll tax. Then we get to the state tax and the federal tax. Billions of dollars come from the homeless, right? Every year in taxes. A.H. Hoffman, do you realize with these opportunities on, follow me now, stay with me, I'm going to connect the dots. It dawned on me, the homeless actually pay for their own homelessness. The ones that are on the street are actually paying to be homeless. It hit me how they do it. Let me connect the dots for you.
Please connect them.
Okay. The opportunity zones. A.H. Hoffman has a big development that she wants to go in there, right? You're not going to go in there and build affordable housing. You're going to go in there and build another Mar-a-Lago, right? Another big condominium, another for the super rich. Follow me. You get the tax write-off for that.
Right.
You create no jobs. You've created luxury living. You know, you've seen them all over the place. Luxury
Right.
developments for the super rich. And the poor, by their taxes, are what? Actually subsidizing that. Because remember, the tax dollars that are accrued and deferred and avoided by developers, somebody's got to make up the revenue. And guess where it comes from? The poor. It hit me. The homeless are actually subsidizing super rich developers to go into these areas, develop them, creating no affordable housing, creating no jobs, creating no infrastructure, creating nothing. And wait, it gets even better. The public, the sidewalks, the infrastructure.
Yes.
When they build these giant developments, there's a little thing called passageways that are public. You have to get in there, sidewalks, streets, and have you noticed how they pave them over? They do that. Some of the places, they even put gold bricks down in some of these developments. Try A.H. Hoffman, a homeless person who's paid for that sidewalk with their tax dollars, paid for that passageway, paid for that yellow brick road that they put up. Try putting one of their little encampments there and see how long it lasts. In front of that multi-billion-dollar, trillion-dollar development, they get shuttled out of here faster than the space shuttle. I'm telling you, it hit me. The homeless actually pay for their homelessness.
We're just
I
going to pass
never
out
thought about that.
pamphlets and let them know
Because
that.
they're subsidizing the developers to create these multi-billion-dollar extravaganzas that they don't have a hope and a prayer of getting close to. Absolutely incredible. What does Don King say? Ricky, get it ready. Don King, only in America. I just love that.
Only in America.
All right, A.H. Hoffman, the GOP canceled. They're going to cancel, Leroy, you'll love this one. They're going to cancel the primaries. Not going to even bother having primaries. Why? Why bother? Trump is, according to Leroy, Trump has been coronated. He'll be the next president. Why even bother having the election? Well, I hate to burst your bubble, Leroy Jackson, but
Leroy
new poll.
keeps shaking his head.
I hate to burst your bubble, Leroy Jackson. Yet another new poll came out, A.H. Hoffman, today, the Marquette poll. Pretty authoritative. The key state now looming bigger and bigger, A.H. Hoffman, in the electoral college mix. Remember those 6 states that will decide the White House? I already checked them all. Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Florida. The rest of them don't count. For the presidency. All right, Wisconsin is looming bigger and bigger. It flipped. It went to Obama in 2008, 2012, flipped in 2016, barely. Well, the interesting thing about Wisconsin is this. Leroy, Joe Biden actually beats, of all the Democratic candidates in Wisconsin, a key linchpin state. He's up by 12 percentage points over Trump in Wisconsin. If he takes Wisconsin, it may be all over. Remember, only talking about the Electoral College. Very interesting, A.H. Hoffman. We'll see how that plays out. Climate change. I don't know if you caught the debate this week, discussion in the Democrats. All of them, everybody put down. They're all climate change warriors. They all put down their climate control program. Some really good proposals, too. Needless to say, ban on on oil drilling in public lands, all the stuff that Trump and his GOP cronies and the big conservative people and the big oil and gas people, they hate. Bans on any public lands for drilling. Get rid of that. No more Alaska stuff, no more polluting Wyoming, the Badlands and Yosemite and all of that. Can't even breathe in there now because fighting the oil people trying to get in there. Greed.
Yep.
All right. Also, we will go back and we will sign the Paris Accords. Remember the Paris Accords that Trump refused to sign?
Yes.
Put us in there, capping, getting a handle on gaseous emissions, CO2, and all of that stuff. Also, a number of other things, bans on fossil fuels all over the place. Now, huge investment in alternative energy sources, wind, solar power, electricity, all that stuff we should have been doing all along. Getting rid of atomic energy,
greenhouse,
the nuclear,
gas emissions,
power plants, get rid of that stuff. Good stuff. And I like what Julian Castro did, especially. He really caught my eye. Julian Castro said, we need to take it one more step. These are all great proposals, and I support all of them. I've already put my plan on the table. Let's make, A.H. Hoffman, climate control. Are you ready for this? Put the phone down 1 second. Let's make climate control the new civil rights battle. You do know that living in inner city communities, I think you know where I'm going with this.
Oh, yeah.
Your lungs,
Yes.
the air, what we breathe, what we drink.
Yes.
We are on the front line in places like Harlem, South L.A., Detroit, South Side of Chicago, Philly,
Any
all these
inner
places.
city
It doesn't
area.
matter. The pollution levels are higher than anywhere else. Carbon dioxide higher, oil drilling, electricity, and not to mention the water all over the place. So it is a major civil rights battle. I'm glad to see Julian Castro. The more I hear him, the more I see him. I like the guy. I like him a lot. We'll see. I just think that, once he moves out of the presidential thing, Julian, think about a real run in Texas for senator. We need you down there. All right, anyway, A.H. Hoffman.
Yes.
The Hutchinson Report, take on the week. That's our take. We'll keep going. Ricky, Mars, the bringer of war.
All right, EOH, I have questions. I have to answer all these questions here. Okay, so top donors. Who are the top donors for Warren? So we have here, this is a 2020 cycle, so we have University of California, Howard University, Amazon, Apple Inc., and Alphabet.
All right.
That's for Warren. Okay, so for Bernie Sanders' top donors, University of California, Amazon, U.S. Postal Service, Microsoft, and Apple. Top
U.S.
donors.
Postal Service?
Yes,
How'd they
U.S.
get in
Postal Service, yes.
I thought they were broke.
Okay.
Where'd they get the money from?
Now, Senator Kamala Harris, we're talking about addressing the question about slaves. Okay, she's a descendant of an Irishman who owned a slave plantation in Jamaica. And that's according to her father's like that.
I figured that. Had
yeah,
the Jamaican tie.
Yeah, that side. And then Beto, his wife
owned slaves?
Wife also has a slave-holding relative. And Beto turned up evidence of his great-great-grandfather, Columbus, who joined the Confederate forces. Okay, Deborah Messing. Okay, so, Trump is mad at Deborah Messing. She was from Will and Grace.
Oh.
And calling for a full disclosure of President Donald Trump's supporters, arguing that the public should know.
Good luck on that one.
Yeah. And so the actress, she said that they should create a blacklist of Trump supporters, and they're being accused of McCarthyism.
I knew our crack research department
and the
would
last
take care
thing
of it.
here,
I knew it.
homelessness. Now, so the least homelessness, Austria has like 0.17% homeless ratio. Bosnia.
What country was that?
That's Austria.
Oh, I knew it was a European country. I
And
thought
then
Switzerland.
Bosnia and I can't pronounce the name. Anyway, Brazil has 0.04% homelessness.
Have you seen how they live in Brazil?
But they said the homelessness, the ratio. This is a ratio in Canada.
They'd be probably living better on the street than some of those favelas down there. Have you seen them? Oh my God. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
So, and then they said also here it says people ask what country else has the lowest ratio. Mississippi has one of the lowest rates of homelessness in the U.S. despite the high poverty levels.
I can believe
Mississippi
that.
is the lowest level of homelessness in this country.
You know why the rural thing down there. Okay,
Okay,
Shelton,
so there you have it. Okay.
All right, thank you.
You're
All right, we got to get out of here. We got to blow this joint. All right, Wendell, Ricky, A.H. Hoffman, Oliver, Leroy, Earl. Oh, I'm Earl. And you, the audience. Thank you.
That part.
Until next week.